Yeah, it's just on that side, yeah. You're going to yourself in,
yeah.
Thank you.
David, how do things stand with your squad? Tell us in particular about Mikel Antonio. Is he available for you?
Well, at the moment he's not trained with us. He joined a little bit this morning. I'm hoping that we get him back, but I couldn't be sure if he makes this weekend.
Okay. Any positive news about anyone else?
Well, there's good news because we're happy with the squad and the way people are playing. But we've got an injury to Felipe Anderson as well, which might mean that he might make it, he might not, but we've got a doubt at the moment. He got a bad fall with 10 minutes to go in the game against Sheffield United. So we're assessing that at the moment. And also Arthur has got a little bit of fluid in his knee, which we've drained, and we're seeing how that is as well.
The nature of the problem with Felipe?
Well, Felipe's is his ribs because he fell heavily from the tackle, and so we're just getting him checked to see how it is.
Lucas Fabianski, he came off in the match at Sheffield United. It's perhaps not as bad as first feared. Is that encouraging?
It's really good news because I think that you can see the form when Lucas has played in goal has been very good, and I think that having him in, he's been excellent last season and this season. So it was great news to find out that he was only, as we think, might only be out for a few weeks.
In the meantime, you have completed the signing of Darren Randolph from Middlesbrough. You were concerned about his injury problems this time last week. How fit is he? Does he come into your thinking for this weekend?
Well, I think he's as fit as we can get, and would like him ideally. We would have waited a week longer, but Lucas's injury has meant that we've brought that forward. So we're happy to do that. We're happy to take the risks with it. He's trained fine today, and we're glad to have him on board.
How big a risk is it?
I don't think it's a great risk because he's been training for a while now, but obviously he's had an injury which you try and go along gradually and bring it on. But he's been doing all the work that he's had to do, and hopefully he'll be ready for the weekend.
Can I just confirm he's in your thinking to start the match? Well,
I've got the choice between 3 goalkeepers at the moment, and he's certainly in that. Yes.
This time last week we were talking about Goodison Fernandes and his perhaps imminent arrival as a West Ham player. He's ended up going to Tottenham. Is that a disappointment to you?
Well, I don't know how good exactly he is, and I think we'll only see that in time. I'm sure Tottenham will see it as a good signing. We've got some other targets we have in mind and people we're looking at. So, we move on and we look to find the right ones to bring in if we can do.
Tell me, is Ross Barkley one of those targets? There's a lot of suggestion today that he might be.
Yeah, well, the one thing I would never do is talk about players at other clubs. First of all, not to upset managers at other Premier League clubs, and also I think it's wrong to do so as well. But anything which we think we could improve our side, obviously I'm going to be interested to try and bring in to improve it.
Particularly in January, is there an advantage in getting British players in that they don't have to take time to settle?
Well, I think there's a lot of really good European players who play in the Premier League. You would sign a lot of them because they're already in the Premier League. But I take your point exactly, that having people with Premier League experience who can come into the side and understand the speed of the game, the way things work here, I think it makes a difference. I think the introduction of someone from somewhere else can take a little bit more time. But it's not so easy to get a British player. Maybe a bit easier to get a Premier League player, and maybe even more easier to go abroad and pick someone up from Europe. But I think still trying to get the right ones in is important, and we'll try and do that.
Are you close to anything?
I wouldn't say we're necessarily that close, but we're working on 2 or 3 things at the moment, and if they're right, then hopefully we'll be able to do it.
Have you made any progress on your backroom team? You spoke again last week about Joe Cole.
I'm having some conversations with 3 or 4 people. Nothing too formal. Just hearing and telling them what I was looking for and what I might be looking to do. So, but there's nothing happening just now. I'll take my time over it in the coming weeks.
do you think it might be the summer before you can sort things out?
Ideally, probably would be the summer, yes. But ideally, if it would be, it might be the summer. But we also are sure that, at the right time we'll add other staff members to it if we think it's needed.
This weekend marks the 10th anniversary of David Gold and David Sullivan taking charge of West Ham. They're not always the fans' favourites, and I appreciate that you've been at the club a total of 7 months, something of that order. But how have you found Mr. Gold and Mr. Sullivan?
I found them very good, and that might sound strange for someone who was let go by them 6 months ago, or a year and a half ago I should say, but I've always found them very straight. They talk correctly. I know the difference what I've had a chance to work at other clubs with different types of owners, a lot of overseas owners, and sometimes you always wish for something better, but the grass isn't always greener. And I've got to say that I think both David Sullivan and David Gold, since I've been here, and I've always been willing to help. They're always trying to see if there's anything I need. So I would only say good things about them.
The fans sometimes have to be careful what they wish for.
Well, I can only tell them from my experience. I've seen some other owners, and I would agree with that. I think they've got to be careful what they wish for here.
But finally for me, the SFA is set to introduce a ban on heading for under 12s in training. It's all linked to research to do with dementia in former players. Is that a step forward?
Well, I'm Scottish and I'm a centre half as well who's headed a lot of balls over my career, so I would be well versed in having thoughts on it. I do think it's correct, but I actually think that there's something I've got about. I would like to see the manufacturers of the balls, like Nike or Adidas, whatever we play with, have training balls which are balls for heading. I think that would be a big thing. Now, I don't mean a balloon, and I don't mean something but something which wouldn't give us the same damage as what it would do from heading a leather ball. And in truth, if you look at how many balls you head in a game, some players might go through a game heading none. There'll be some players who'll go through it heading maybe 15, 20 balls in a game. But I think a lot of the practice comes from what you do in training, and this is what I really think that there should be something getting made, someone with the idea of coming up with a training ball which flies through the air in the same way but hasn't got the same level of impact as a match ball, for example. And I think it's a good idea. We can't take heading out the game, we can't take challenges out the game, and we don't want all that stopped. But I do think that looking after the young ones and probably finding something better would be a good idea.
Thanks, Ian. Charlotte?
Hi, David.
Hi there.
I saw training this morning. The players seem quite happy and good spirits. Have you seen a positive reaction, obviously, off the back of that loss to Sheffield United?
I think the players have been really positive, and I think the way they've gone about their work has been really good. Look, the game against Sheffield United could have easily, been a draw with a goal from us, or maybe us not giving away a goal. So one way or the other, I don't think we came away from the game feeling that we were badly beaten in any way. I think we've got a lot of confidence we took from our home game when we beat Bournemouth 4-0 at home. So we want to take that into the next game. We have to try and find that form, that level again, and hopefully we can do that.
And Pablo Fornals, he was out there as well, he looked quite happy as well, and obviously he's overcome a tricky start, and he's a man in form as well. What have you made of his upend performance?
Yeah, I thought in the game he played for us against Bournemouth, he'd done very well. I think that any Spanish player coming to the Premier League, I think, takes time to adjust, and I think when you're a young one, it's even more so. But I think he's got big potential. I think he's someone who we're looking forward to working with for the years to come, and hopefully he'll continue to improve.
And can fans expect to see him start on Saturday?
I think there's a good chance. I think that we don't have that big a squad, and our numbers are quite tight at the moment, so I think there's a good chance that he could be involved in the squad, yeah.
You mentioned that win over Bournemouth, that was the last home game. How important is it that you continue that winning momentum at the moment?
Well, I think winning our home games will be vital between now and the end of the season. You know, we've got to get ourselves away from the position we're in. So every home game is vital, as is every away game. But I think your home games gives you that added advantage. We have to try and make that work for us, and we need the crowd behind us. We need everybody willing us on. You know, we want to get better. We want to continue making progress, and we want the supporters to be right behind us as well.
And obviously this Saturday you'll be coming up against one of your former sides. Is there an element of sentiment there, or can there be, with obviously West Ham City 1 point above the drop zone?
Well, I spent 11 and a half great years there, where we done some really good things at Everton, but everything now is geared to West Ham, and in many ways I'm trying to get West Ham, you know, to do something similar, get regular top 6 football, regular top 7, get to Europe, and I think there is a similarity in the clubs in many ways. So I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be doing that here at West Ham. But the one thing it's hard for a manager to ask for is time. But I think to get it, for me to do what I've done with Everton, I needed a little bit of time at the start to put my design down, you know, get a chance to bring players in and give them a chance to get ready to where we're going to go. And I hope I get that opportunity to do the same in the coming years at West Ham.
One final question for me. What have you made of Carlo Ancelotti's start at Everton?
I think he's had a very good start. I think his league performances have started well. He's an incredibly experienced manager. I think might only be Josie who might have more sort of medals, or maybe Sir Alex, if put it that way. But I think he's up there with some of the most sort of decorated managers there is. And obviously, it's a tough one because he's very experienced.
Thank you. Cameras off.